Hello and welcome to another episode of Cards Unbarred. My name's Ryan, and in this video I'm going to teach you the 3 to 5 player trick-taking game Flip Over, designed by Shiro Yamaoka. The components in Flip Over consist of 60 playing cards, numbered 1 through 12, in 5 suits: purple, red, black, yellow, and green. The game also comes with 2 player reference cards that are double-sided, 2 home and away cards that are double-sided, which are used for the kick and rush game, which will be explained in a future video, 12 wooden disc tokens that are numbered 1 to 12, that are double-sided with blue on one side and red on the other, and 2 additional tokens that are used in the kick and rush game, a double-sided soccer ball that is blue on one and red on the other, and a plus symbol on one side and a minus symbol on the other. And finally, there's an extra blank disc that can be used as a replacement piece if you lose any of the other tokens. When setting up for a 5-player game, you will use all 5 suits and all numbered cards 1 to 12. In a 4-player game, you will only use 4 suits and only use the cards numbered 1 through 10, as well as removing the 11 and 12 tokens. And in a 3-player game, you'd use 3 suits and only the cards numbered 1 to 8. As well as removing the 10 and 9 tokens. In this video, we'll be setting up for a 4-player game, so we will be using 4 suits numbered 1 to 10. In Flip Over, players are playing tricks to try and take the positive points and avoid the negative points. After the trick has been played, instead of a player collecting the cards, you keep the card you played in front of you, you'll play out the 10 tricks, and then you're going to flip all of the tokens over and replay those same 10 tricks with the same cards in hand. Between each 10 tricks, you'll add up your score, and after you play your hand twice, whoever has the most points wins. To set up for a game of Flip Over, first shuffle the main playing card deck and deal out the cards evenly to all players. So in a 4-player game, we'll be dealing 10 cards to each player. Players may look at the cards that were dealt to them, but make sure to keep them hidden from all other players. Next, take the wooden tokens and place them in the middle of the table, alternating from blue and red. You may decide if you want the one to start as blue or red. Either way, whichever one you choose, just make sure they're alternating all the way through. Additionally, when playing with 4 players, you may play in the 2v2 team variant, which I will explain at the end of the video. But for now, I'll explain the rules where everyone is playing for themselves. And finally, choose a start player. Flip Over is a must-follow trick-taking game, so the start player may play any card from their hand, and everyone else in clockwise order must play a card of that suit if they have one. So we'll say the player down here is the start player. Looking at their hand, they can play any one of these cards that they want, and I'll go over why you may or may not want to win something from this middle of the table, but for now, they are going to play this 8 purple. Continuing clockwise, the player over here must play a purple card if they have one. So looking at their hand, they have this purple 5. That is their only option, so they will play that card. Coming to the next player, looking at their hand, they have a few options for purple, and they will decide to play this purple 10. And the last player over here has a 3 or 4, and they are going to play this purple 4. After everyone has played a card into the trick, you need to look to see who played the highest card of lead suit. Purple was the lead suit, so in this case, the purple 10 was played, and they're going to win the trick. Whenever a player wins the trick, depending on the trick that you are on, you will take the token and put that in front of you. So we're on the very first trick of the game, so they're going to take this number 1 token and put it face up in front of them. Depending on what side the token is on, will determine if that's positive or negative points. So in this case, this player just earned 1 positive point. The 2, which is going to be the next trick, is going to be worth 2 negative points. Then 3 positive, 4 negative, all the way up to the negative 10-point trick. Now the thing is, if any player in the trick instead played a number that matches the trick you're on, so in this case we're on a number 1, so let's just say this player didn't have that purple card in their hand, and on their turn they decide to play one of these number 1 cards. That becomes trump for the trick. So instead of the purple 10 winning, this yellow 1 wins, since that is now stronger than the purple 10. So this player would collect the 1. So trump for this game is always the number of trick you're on. So if you're on trick number 5, 5 is trump. So anyone who would play a 5 in the trick would be stronger. And that goes for within suit as well. So if the person who plays the purple 1, wherever it is, so if that person led with the purple 1, and they did their purple 5 again, they'd be winning the trick because this purple 1 is trump right now. Either way, let's just take that back. Say they played the 8, and this player over here wins the trick. They collect that 1. Now, all cards that were played in the trick don't go to the trick winner, like most trick-taking games do. Everybody takes their own card and puts it face down in front of them. And then the player who won will lead the next trick. Reminder that the next trick is going to be negative points, so they don't really want to win this trick. So they're going to decide to play this red 1. Coming to the next player, they must play red, and they're going to try and avoid this. So they're going to play with the 2 as trump, so they actually don't want to play that 2. So they're going to play the 3. And over here, they're looking at a 6 and an 8, so it's not looking great for them. Knowing that the 6 and the 8 are negative cards for trump later in the round as well, they're not too happy about that. So they're going to try and get rid of the higher 1 just in case. And coming to the last player, looks like they can play under. And also, again, looking at what's positive and negative for them. The 5, 7, and 9 are all positive ones, so they probably want to hold on to those. And they'll just go ahead and get rid of the 5. So now the red 8 is winning the trick because nobody played trump, and that is the highest of lead suit. So they would collect the -2 token. Everybody who played their card puts it face down in that pile in front of them, and this player would lead the next trick. You'll do this until all 10 tricks are played, and then you'll have all 10 cards from your hand face down in front of you. Before you move on to the next round, though, I just want to explain a couple other things that might happen during trick play. If there's ever a tie for same number cards, so for example, 3 is trump right now, and let's say this person led 3 black, and the next person, let's say they didn't have black, and of course they don't have a 3. Let's actually just say this person plays the 6, and then we come over here, this person doesn't have black, and they decide to also play a 3. That is trump, and this is also trump. So the one that's played later would win the trick. Even though this one is within lead suit, it's essentially just trump. That's all you're focusing on. So a later played card in the trick would win, which means if the last player also had a 3 and they didn't have black and played it, then they would win the trick. So once you go through all 10 tricks, you'll have the tokens given out to some kind of player in some order. Let's just say it looked like that. You will then calculate your points. You'll add up any positive points and subtract negative points, and that'll be your score for the round, or the first half of the hand, as it might be. And you can go negative. So in this case, this player has -3 points. Once everyone has calculated their score, which you can write on a piece of paper or use tokens of some kind, you'll put all of the discs back in the middle in the same order, 1 to 10. And again, all these cards would be in a pile since they would have played their tricks already. And then what you'll do is you'll flip over all 10 tokens. So now anything that was positive has become negative, and anything that was negative has become positive. And then you'll take all 10 of your cards and bring them back into your hand. So essentially the first 10 tricks, you're playing whatever it was, positive, negative, with these 10 cards, and then you're replaying those same 10 tricks with those same 10 cards you have. It's just now whatever was positive is negative and vice versa. After you go through all of those 10 tricks, you'll add up your score for that, and that would be combined from your first half hand, and whatever that total value is, whoever has the most points would win. The game does say you can play multiple rounds of that, so every time you go through your hand twice, the first 10 tricks, flip everything over, another 10 tricks would be a full round. You can play multiple rounds if you'd like, And you can predetermine that at the beginning of the game, and whoever has the most points after the predetermined number of rounds would win. If you do play multiple rounds, you'll gather up all of the cards, shuffle the deck, and deal out cards evenly again to all players. As I also mentioned, there is the 4-player team variant, where players sitting across from each other would be on a team. So the trick play and the game all resolves the same. You're just instead working with a player diagonally across from you. And also, before trick play starts, you pass one card to your partner. You only do this at the beginning of the hand. So the first 10 tricks, before those happen, you'll each pass one card to each other. But when you play the 10 tricks and you pick your hands back up, you don't pass again. It's only the first set of tricks. So you'll play 20 tricks, and then if you want to play another round, you'll reshuffle the deck, deal out the cards, and then you'll be able to pass one card to each other. Now, I would like to quickly discuss an unofficial variant that my group has come up with, and that is just simply taking the tokens and dropping them on the table, and then placing them in that random order on whatever side they fell on. The normal rules tell you to do it in order from 1 to 10 and always have them alternating. But after a few plays of that, it can get a little samey and kind of stale. And we really like this. It's of course going to be a little bit more chaotic. There's going to be more negative or positive points in a single round. But this can allow you to mix things up just a little bit with simply randomizing the way those tokens are set up. Otherwise, the gameplay is exactly the same. As always, I recommend you play rules as written first, and if you think this sounds interesting to you after you've played it that way, you can try it this way. Otherwise, that's everything you need to know to play Flip Over. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Thanks so much for watching.